Welcome to Around the Gridiron. This is week 8. We're talking NFL. We're talking college football, where it is not week 8. It is some week there, week 9, week 10, whatever it is. We're going to talk about it. I got my guy Josh Keatley here. Josh, how was your weekend? How were the bets?
I've had better weeks, but I've had worse weeks. My there's college was okay. I think I hit like 50. I hit over 50%, so I didn't lose my ass, but I definitely didn't make any money because of the juice. I was pretty hot early with the Sun Belt Fun Belt. Nailed a couple underdogs, but the Maryland quarterback situation kind of screwed me there. My NFL week was bad though, dude. I think I went 1-5 on the games I actually bet. And I know that you and I were texting throughout the day. We did not have the hottest record.
Wait, I did great. I
You did
killed
great.
it. Yeah, I crushed it.
I did really bad, man. I went 1-5. It was my first blatantly bad week. I don't want to say the season, but in a while. So I was kind of shocked by that. I don't really know how to rebound from that either. So I got to kind of do some
I
self.
told you about the Ravens, too. I told you.
Yeah, man. But the thing is, they were going up against another team in my Browns that were also just so ready to just destruct. You know what I mean? So I
thought
wasn't.
Cleveland was going to win it. And if they did, I was going to call you and just laugh.
I mean, I was rooting for the Browns. I always root for the Browns. I always root for the Browns. It's a win-win, right? I always love betting against my favorite teams because it's a win-win, right? Either I win money or my team wins.
Yeah,
But
emotional win.
yeah, but that was like the worst case scenario because not only did my team lose, but I still lost money.
I'm drinking these land sharks, which are left over from this Halloween party from hell that we had. Dude, I tweeted about some of it, but just all I'll say is there's a really funny moment in life where you realize like adults are not as adult as you think they are.
Oh,
So
yeah.
like, these people live in my neighborhood. It's our neighborhood, I guess. And they're probably in their 40s, some are in their 50s. They got kids, I see them standing at the corner at the bus stop in the mornings with their kids, putting them on the bus. These guys had a few drinks, a few shots of Fireball. Next thing you know, they start talking about KY jelly and all these different, sexcapades and drugs. And I'm just like, you guys are parents, man. Like, what's going on out here? It's just a little dose of reality. But I was not there for all of that. My good friend was catching me up on it. One of my neighbors tried to fight another neighbor, which I couldn't even tell you why.
Wow.
Tried to fight the nicest guy in the neighborhood. Like, it just,
Oh, really?
yeah.
He's
The guy's so
no.
nice. He apologized and was like, "Did I do something wrong to upset this guy that he wanted to fight me?" Like, that's how nice he is. It's like, this is the guy we're trying to beat up, man. Like, cut me some slack here.
I can see it though. Just get a few drinks and you'd be like, you know what? I don't like how nice you are. I think you're hiding something. Let's fucking do this.
You're too happy.
Yeah.
I don't like you.
I don't like
Man.
it.
But the upside, we went to the Navy game, which was fun.
That's good.
Yeah, for the people that don't know, I live in Maryland. All around, great vibes at the Navy Stadium. A lot of Navy people, as you can expect, but tailgate culture is pretty strong. It's not comparable to anything like Big Ten or SEC, but it's good. It's good. People also, you can leave at halftime and go out to the parking lot and come back in.
Oh,
So
that's cool.
yeah, so you got pregame pops, mid-game pops, post-game pops.
Oh yeah, dude. That's a Valpo vibe, dude.
Yeah, it's tough to be mad. It was a good time, and if we didn't have this dumbass Halloween party, would have stayed for the post-game tailgate, but had a little charcuterie, as they say, and had a few drinks, dude. It was a good time.
That's awesome. I actually have an interesting story as well. My girlfriend goes to this little shop next to her school, and it's like where all the teachers shop. These women like knit sweaters and shit and resell them. They have a bin. They have a giant bin full of new era hats.
Yeah,
Sweet hats, okay?
everywhere.
And I'm going through them, and I find this gem, okay? 2019 SEC champion with the LSU logo.
Okay,
That makes sense. They won the SEC, right?
Okay.
All the hats in the bin are $1. Okay, and then she's got hats like this. Tom Coughlin's J Fund. I guess he had a golf outing. They made extra hats. So finally I asked her, why are these hats here? And I got like a Yankees beanie. again for $1 when they won the World Series. She said what happens is when New Era makes these hats, they're all custom hats, and then they send these orders out, and she gets the ones that weren't used or the defunct ones or like the ones that are misspelled. So there's some baseball logos that were like misspelled and stuff like that, which I found. But I thought it was interesting because this is another hat that I found. Same exact hat as the LSU hat, correct?
Yeah, Georgia.
What? Yes, dude. Yes. I found one of the losers, bro.
Hell yeah,
A
man.
dollar. Isn't that weird, dude?
Dude, I'm gonna have you're gonna need to go to that place every week for me and like we're gonna buy hats. I'm gonna buy that lady out of I wear so many hats.
Oh, dude, they're some of them are cool. Some of them are, if you're a baseball guy, that's way more the thing. But like, there's a bunch of business hats too. Like Chase Bank held like a golf outing, so there's like just a bunch of
Dude,
them.
I would yes. Hell yeah. I would
So
I
wrong.
was when I was in Buffalo somehow I got my hands on like a popular golf tournament hat. And I'm not a golf guy and I would just wear it around. People are like, You were there? You were at that?" I'm like, "No. I don't even know. I don't even know what this is. It's just a hat. Dude, I
Oh,
would
dude,
love to rock some corporate outing hats.
oh, dude, there you would love this bin then, dude. Some of them, I mean, when I saw that Georgia hat, dude, I was like, Justine, a dollar. They had a bunch of Yankees shit in there.
I
Like,
want
I
someone to
don't
be
know.
like, You were at the 2014 Chase shotgun? That
Yeah,
you were there? You were
that's
golfing?
I mean, shit.
Where like, no, man.
Yeah, I mean the I don't even know what this is,
J
dude. Like
Fund? I don't know what the J
the
it looks like
Tom,
it's a kid, so shout out to Jay. I hope you're alive.
yeah, it's some event Tom Coughlin ran. So I was like, all right, dollar, I'll take it. It's got Tom Coughlin's name on it.
Dude, I would love to rock random hats just around. It's like, when people wear this shit like Harvard, but they didn't go to Harvard.
Oh
It's
yeah, dude.
it's like one of those. It's one of those moments.
What was that store, Stephen Barry's, where they just had like all those college sweaters?
I used to fucking camp out and I had so much
I was
Stephen
like,
Barry shit. I wore every random college you could think of, like
because of Stephen
schools I
Barry.
had no chance of getting into. I'm just like, yeah, looks good. Stephen Barry's.
Yep.
Also
Oh,
wore a
yeah.
lot of Starberries because of Stephen
Who
Barry's.
didn't? Who didn't? Dude, had one
Yeah,
of
dude.
every color, bro.
So did I.
One
And
of
I
every.
had every style. He had like the New Balance style, the Air Force One style, the
Yeah,
basketball shoe. I had them all, dude. It
I
was
like. What was the one? It was called the pinwheel, I think, with like the
yeah. The
that was
pinwheel
the
was
go-to.
cool. Pinwheel
Yeah,
is
dude.
cool. Starberry, man. He was ahead of the curve. Even though I'm someone now that collects Jordans and pays a stupid amount of money for them.
Yeah,
Starberries were ahead of the curve
yeah.
because paying that kind of money for shoes is just ridiculous.
Plus, it was a very. I think it was kind of a. I think I know he made money off of it, but that's kind of cool to make that like your mission. Like, dude, make
Oh yeah, help the kids out. I mean,
you know what I mean?
look, if you're not on an AAU team or something like, and you're a poor kid, you're not getting new basketball shoes every year.
No, dude, no. I mean, there were kids in my high school that played basketball at Starburst. I'm not gonna lie.
Yeah,
You know what I mean? You gotta do what you gotta do, bro.
you got to get
But I,
what you
you
got
know,
to do.
there were,
Dude, there was
yeah,
a
they were
point in
cool.
my
They
life.
also,
So my cousin played, and he ended up going to the Air Force Academy. And
yeah,
like when I would go visit him in the summer, I would just take his like hand me down AAU shoes and just wear like these like because we were the same size foot, and he was like, "Oh yeah, either I'm not on that team anymore, or we switched to a new shoe." He's like, so he even like knew the drill. Like I would come and he's like, "Yo, here's all the shoes I don't want. If you want them." And so I would come back home with like all these random like Adidas or Nike like basketball shoes that I would just relace them, and clean them off. My cousin, meanwhile, was putting like an hour's worth of sweat into these things every day, but I was just they're new shoes, and I just wear
cleaning them
them.
off. You know, dude, I
Yeah.
feel you, bro. He also I've also thought it was dope that you could buy his throwback Georgia Tech jersey there too.
Hmm.
I think I still have two of them. I think I still hung on to like two of them.
Him going
Just
to Georgia Tech is just that I want to know how much money he was paid to go there.
well,
Like
wasn't Georgia Tech a good basketball school at one point or no?
they
I
were
don't know anything
okay, but I
about it.
think there has to be a story there. I mean, dude, he was a New York kid. And
I
to
don't.
not go play in the Big East and to go play at Georgia Tech, there's a story. There's a story there, and
I
people
have no
might know the story. I don't know Marbury enough, but there's got to be a story there. I just saw Lindell White talking about the 150K he got to play at USC.
Oh, dude, all of them dudes were getting paid. I think that's what. I mean, yeah, dude. I mean,
Guy's
all
been
of them.
getting paid for a long time.
Yeah, dude.
It's
Yeah.
funny. People don't realize, even in a conference like Valpo, right, which is non-scholarship, how guys end up quote unquote getting paid with like random scholarships and financial aid and things that you
Well, yeah,
kind
but
of
that's a little different. Like when you compare our leadership scholarships, quote unquote, to a dude getting just 150K in cash and their mommy getting a new house. That's
yeah, but it's on top of them already getting a free ride. I'm saying like at all levels of the NCAA, they're finding ways to get kids into these schools.
yeah.
Um, I was That's a conversation for after the podcast.
The best is when you the
I
best
just
is when
almost fucked it. I just almost fucked the team over. But that's a conversation. I'll tease it. I was at the bar, and the head coach of a program that plays FCS football told me about another school that's cheating in FCS football by essentially kids that can afford to be on partial or certain things in certain conferences. This school is fudging the numbers to get these kids full rides. And I'll just leave it at that.
I believe that. I believe that. I think it's funny.
And
I
this
always
is
tell
this is FCS football I'm talking about.
oh yeah, yeah. No, I believe that for sure, 100%.
So
I
that's what I
always
mean.
tell
Like I'm saying, like it doesn't surprise me that somebody's cutting Lindell White a check for 150,000 because somebody is helping a kid from Bumblefuck play one AA football for free.
well, I don't know if that I don't because when you're trying to help some dude try to pay less for college, there's no there's no McDonald's paper bag, right? There's just some government paperwork that needs to be filled out. I mean, right? I mean, am I wrong? Do you
Look,
think
there's a so the NCAA right comes up with or I guess it's FAFSA, right, that comes up with a certain score,
yes.
and then the
Yep.
NCAA comes up with a score that determines how much of a scholarship you should get in this
Yep.
conference, et cetera, et cetera. Some people are fudging the numbers. Some people are fudging the numbers, and some people
I
are saying, "Hey, Josh, I like the way you run the ball. I know your parents could afford to pay 50% tuition. What if they paid zero? Would you come here versus
I for
going to?"
sure believe that. I for sure believe that. I for sure there were I mean, I'm sure that happened to you where there were multiple schools where they were, multiple were non-scholarship, but for some reason the numbers came out differently. I mean, that doesn't surprise me at all. But I don't think anybody's given a paper bag full of money to an FCS kid.
No, no, no. That's not my point. I think what I'm saying is, if people are willing to cheat on the lowest levels, FCS, D3, etc., it doesn't surprise me that at the FBS level, kids are getting bags of money. When people are always like, "I can't believe this is happening. They're already getting a free ride." I'm just like, kids are getting a free ride at the low levels. Like, kids are getting whatever like. There's kids that are playing D3 football on a full ride right
For
now,
sure. For sure.
and they're doing it because they're studs. That's just plain and simple. So it's just like this idea that the full ride is the end all be all. It's like, my brother, they're giving that out at Ohio Dominican. I'm just kidding. I don't know anything about Ohio Dominican. I just know our old coach
Well,
coached there.
your
So
Carlson was there, so they were.
exactly, yeah. So that's why I threw that name out. But you know, name your D3 school. They're
No,
probably putting some kids in full ride.
for sure. I don't disagree with that at all. I do think that there are varying ways that everybody cheats, right? It's fudging the numbers. It's maybe handing a kid a jacket on a recruiting weekend that has the school logo on it. Maybe paying for their breakfast that they shouldn't be, or an extra meal that they shouldn't be paying for, stuff like that. But I do think that there is when it doesn't matter now because with the NIL laws, it doesn't matter. But I think there is a little bit more of a blatant, like, hey, here's a big bag of money that is a little kind of like, but why? You know what I mean? There are so many other ways that you can be nuanced about your cheating that just at that point feels lazy. And I don't know. Does that make sense?
It does, but I think it's kind of sophisticated. I mean, did you watch the video where Lindell White, they were talking on Busting with the Boys, and they're like, "What kind of car did you drive in college?" And he's like, "Oh, a Lexus GX, whatever, whatever." And people are like,
Jesus.
"Okay." And then Chris Johnson, it looked like, was there. He's like, "Yeah," and tell him. He's like, "Where'd you live?" He's like, "Oh, I lived in downtown LA." And it's like, "Oh, okay." Like, as an 18, 19-year-old dude. And he's like, they're like, "Did you ever meet any boosters, any whatever?" He's like, "I never met anybody. I don't know anything. I just know when I got to my new apartment, there was some money maybe left in there." And they're like, "How much?" And he's like, "Maybe 150,000 in cash just sitting in my apartment. I don't know if it was meant for me or what, but it was just in there when I moved in." It's like, good grief, man. Like,
Jesus Christ. I
yeah,
don't
I
even.
mean, that's what I mean. Like, that's why I laugh sometimes where it's like, when people are just like talking about it, it's like, I wish I was as good as that. That like somebody would offer me $150,000 to play ball. I do appreciate that people were willing to like we said, fudge some numbers, move things around so things were cheaper than they should have been, et cetera, et cetera. But man, to be so good at a sport, like there's this. We're going off a bit, but I like where we're going. There's this thing I was telling Teresa where I was like, and Teresa's my wife for the listeners. It's really hard to put into context what it feels like to be 16 to 22 years old and grown men are treating you like you're the greatest thing to ever exist and willing to give you money or willing to let you get in trouble or willing to let you do and just look the other way on it. I'm like, the average person has no idea what that feels like. I'm like,
Oh, yeah.
you probably have to. Jeff Bezos might be a stretch, but like, you probably have to become like the CEO of a company or be a multimillionaire before you know what it feels like to just be the second string quarterback at Ohio State. Like, just the lifestyle, the amount of people that are willing to do things for you, give things to
Yeah, dude.
you, look the other way. You will never experience that until you reach some like incredibly high level of business.
There's a dude that makes figurines for players. He was at the last game. I was walking around and he's waiting outside the hotel where Ohio State stays on game days, the Blackwell, with a figurine of the second string quarterback to give him because he makes figurines of all the players and gives them to the players. Now, what the players do with those, whether they throw them away or what, I don't know. I don't care. But the
Yeah.
fact that this grown man who's definitely in his 50s is making action figures in his spare time of these players who sit the bench, my God. Like,
Yeah,
isn't that in mind?
it's so hard to put into words for someone that's never been through it how much people obsess over you. And like, even in my little small town, with me being a nobody, I remember people being like, "Hey, so like you're gonna go like D1, right? You're gonna this, you're gonna." I was like, I hope so. You know what I mean? And like, I'm aiming for it. And just the amount of people that all of a sudden, I told my dad at one point, I was like, "Man, I started winning all these awards for football, and I started getting invited to every party." And he's like, "You think so?" He's like, "Maybe people just like you." I'm like, "No, because every time I come to the party, all they want to talk to me about is football." And he's like, "Oh, okay." He's like, "I don't know what to tell you." But I'm just like, dude, and that was in a small town. And like, I was getting like looks from Illinois and Michigan State and whatever, but they weren't even offering, they were just showing up to,
He was there.
yeah, and talk, and people were going nuts over that. I mean, I was going nuts over that too. I didn't know any better, but it's just, man, it's so hard. I told I told Teresa, like, I get it why these kids are such little assholes, but I'm like, they're enabled by the system. I mean, look at Quinn Ewers, right? I mean,
Yeah.
now that we have NIL, They give this kid $1 million.
6 million. He made 6 million last year.
$6 million. Kid
Yeah.
hasn't thrown a ball until this year, and people are paying for his autograph. People are lining up to see him. I
Yep.
mean, we won't
His
get too far
football,
into it.
a
Go ahead.
signed football by Quinn Ewers at that recent garage sale was that where I got the Colt McCoy helmet. A signed football. Now we both know that footballs are much cheaper than an actual physical life-size helmet. Okay.
Yep.
A signed Quinn Ewers football that has the Ohio State logo where he doesn't play, never threw a pass for, was more expensive than the Colt McCoy helmet.
Yeah, it's absurd.
Isn't that wild? Isn't that wild to you?
Absurd. Yes, it's stupid. Is really what it is, and there's no way to put it into words. And I know we talked off air last time about certain OSU players and how they're living these days, and things are good, but it's the same thing. I won't get too far into it, but just the idea too of the fact that it's like you can hook up with girls because of who you are, not because of anything else, right? Not because you're funny or you're nice or you're charming or you're smart, just because you're number so and so who wears a jersey for this football team, and that means something to a certain group of people that they're willing to spend the night with you.
Oh yeah.
So it's just like all of that the average person will never experience. And my main point is that doesn't just happen at big schools, right? Like that happens at small schools as well, depending on the school. I took a trip to a D3 school and things got very rowdy, on my recruiting visit with the social aspect of things. And
well, yeah, there's going to be jersey change. Yeah, I mean, you're always going to have the dude. Yeah, for sure. But we're talking about a dude getting a blowy from a sorority chick just because they play at Mount Union is way different than a dude having an apartment downtown. I just think that there is a line.
My thing is you play the ball where it lies. So you getting that blowy at Mount Union because you play for the football team probably puts you in a different tier than the average Mount Union student. The same way Lindell White driving a Lexus around campus puts him in a different tier than the average USC student.
Way different.
I get that they're different, right? It's the difference between having like Jeff Bezos money and I don't know, Jim Tressel money. But at the end of the day, where you're playing, you're the man. And I think that's really, really, that's something that people don't grasp a lot of the times, right? Like you don't always have to be the guy at a Big Ten school, right? Like, dude, there's kids at the University of Louisiana Monroe right now that are living a lifestyle so lavish compared to the average person.
I'm sure Boogie Night is just getting laid every night.
Yeah. And I don't mean just sex. I don't mean just sex. I mean,
that? Did you know that their best player's name is Boogie Night?
Yeah, I do. Okay, it's a great name. It's a great name. But look, I don't mean just sex. I mean, that's the really that's the sophomore version of it. But it's like free meals, free rides, free this,
they all
free
get
that.
free meals now. That's the NCAA rule. They all get free meals.
But you know what I mean? Like not like oh, you can eat on campus for free, but like yeah, like good meals, good meals.
Yeah, no,
dude.
Sure.
I talked to my buddy, who Michael Felder, who played at UNC, and I'm not sure if he walked on or what, but he played there, and he even talked about it, like playing at UNC when he played in the early 2000s when they were just okay. He got used to not having to wait in line for things, like going to the bar, you don't wait in line. You play for UNC, you don't wait in line. Going to the club, you don't wait in line. So it's like that step back now into reality where.
And that's at a basketball school too. Even back then, that was still a basketball school. So he was whatever he was getting, the basketball team was getting better.
Oh yeah, imagine what they're dude.
But that was also the heyday of was it Butch Jones?
He didn't play for Butch. I forget who he played for. Butch Davis, he didn't play for him. He's younger. He's older than that, but I forget.
That was definitely during the academic fraud, right?
he didn't play there then. He was older than that. He's
Oh, he
almost
was.
40, I think, at this point. So he played there when they were probably a 7-8 win team at best. I want to
I
say he
thought
played
that.
like 02. Search Felder, search Michael Felder. Um, but my point is right to that. So to your point, this is a basketball school. This is a basketball town. This is probably an average ACC North Carolina football team.
Yeah.
And he's used to going out in Charlotte and never waiting in line, getting things comped, all because he plays football. And people know, oh, these are the football players.
Yeah.
So
For
I'm just
sure.
like, I get you. Yeah, Lindell White's riding around in a Lexus and he's getting 150 grand. But Lindell White's also much better at football than me and you.
Yes, for sure. Yeah. Oh, yeah, he was before that. He was in 2005. The academic fraud for fake classes was in 2010.
Yeah. He's got some funny stories about writing papers for people, etc. But that's his story. I'll let him tell it. He's told it on other podcasts. But that's just I know we've gone sideways, but that's one of my big things is like if people really understood what goes on at the college level, not just at the FBS level, but the FCS, the NAIA, the D2, the D3. These kids are being put on this pedestal that like is so unrealistic. Right? Like it just like who do you think Lindell White lived next to when he was 18, 19 years old with an apartment in downtown LA and driving a Lexus? Probably like doctors and lawyers and
Yeah, well, don't you think so? I don't have a problem with everybody getting theirs, right? I view the NIL thing as not even, it doesn't matter. It's happening, whether I like it or not. The problem I have is that you see these guys get these massive amounts of money so young that I don't think that you're given the proper chance to grow as a person. You know what I mean? Like even though you were getting free food, free clothes, free education, you still had to like there's you didn't couldn't just go out and buy whatever you wanted, right? There was still a portion of you that had to struggle. If I sat next to you in class, I knew you were a football player, but I didn't know you were a douche. Do you know what I mean? Like it's just does that make sense? But when you roll up in a Lexus, I mean, is Lendell White? I don't know Lendell White as a person, right? But I do know a lot of former athletes that were very similar, if not less than Lendell White, and they're not well-adjusted human beings. I mean,
of course not. Of course
we talked
not.
about one of them last week, and
How
he's
could
got
you be though? How could you be well
that.
adjusted?
But isn't that that's my only problem with the whole NIL thing? Is a guy like Quinn Ewers ever going to be properly? Is he going to be when he's 25 years old, which isn't old by the way, but
Dude, if we're honest, and I love all of our teammates, we played with some guys that were probably already not well adjusted
100%, a hundred,
before ball, or maybe that's why they played. So it's like you're
100.
compounding it, I think. Like you've already got some guys that are suspect. So and then you maybe throw a lot of money at him. I feel like it only gets worse. Antonio
Yeah,
Brown maybe is a
that's
good
my point.
example of that.
That's my point. And I don't have a problem. Everybody get yours. I don't know if the answer is to put it in a savings fund or something where they can't touch it to where Quinn. I don't know. I don't know what the answer is, but I do think you're going to start seeing guys get weirder and weirder, right? Like, I mean, that's just that. With the whole thing. I was running for Brownsville at the time where that rumor came out with OBJ likes to get shit on his chest.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Everybody's like, is that true? Is that true? 100% that's true. 100% that was true. Because when you get laid every single day by a different chick, you get bored and you search for extremes, and then people shit on your chest. And that's what happened, right? That you know what I mean? That's not right. That's not well adjusted, bro. Like no one should get laid. I mean, I'm assuming that's what happened, but no one should have getting laid so much that they're like, you know what? I gotta take it the next step. Let's get shit on. And I think that we're going to start to enter a realm where everybody, the guys we watch on TV are always going to be that weird. Not all of them, because most of not most of them. That's terrible to say, but some of them are, they got families to take care of, and they're not even seeing that money anyways. They're taking it and they're giving it to their family. They're giving it to their moms, their sisters, their dads, whatever. Well, Javon Kinlaw was a kid that from South Carolina who. I remember when he went to the Senior Bowl, Donovan James got to interview him, and he just started crying because he was so thankful for the opportunity because he had 5 brothers and sisters and like 2 uncles that lived with him in the same fucking house in the basement, shit like that. And like the only water they had was out of a drinking hose. So that guy probably wouldn't go psycho, right? Whatever he makes, he's sending back home and doing his thing. But, you know, Quinn Ewers is probably going to be a weird fucking dude, right? I mean, there's just no way around it, right?
Probably. Yeah, fuck Quinn Ewers. Oh, did you freeze on that? Oh, man. He froze. He'll be back. There he goes.
Back.
Did you hear me?
What'd you say?
Fuck Quinn Ewers.
I'm sure he's a nice kid, but he's already fucked up, right? He shouldn't have gone to Ohio State. He should have stayed at high school, did his thing, and then gone to Texas.
Dude, he spent his first year at Ohio State just signing autographs. Kid wasn't even fucking practicing. Just sorry, coach. I gotta go sign. How do you make $6 million and never throw on a fucking pass? Kid was all about his money from the get-go. Yeah, they're always maladjusted, I think. But I think to some extent, like, you get that way. You get that way.
You get so
used to getting your way. Like, you get so used to people not saying no. You get so used to, like, people excusing your behavior, right? That, like, at a certain point, you're like, what do you mean? Yeah, exactly.
I mean,
what do you mean there's consequences?
And I'm a Browns fan. You know.
Dude, Watson's a big one, and I don't want to say anything or accuse anybody of anything, but I just, at a certain point too, I feel like he's a guy that is used to having his way.
Or you think?
Or not like having his way in that way, like, or the team being like, we're going to cover this up, or we're going to look the other way, or, you know, look, I'll put it this way. If you watch House of Dragons, right, there was a scene in House of Dragons where her son, oh God, this is terrible, more or less like sexually assaulted one of his maids, right? And the mom comes to her and is like, I'm so sorry this happened to you. I totally believe this happened to you, but my son's going to be the king. We can't have this rumor getting out there. I need you to take this like medieval plan B, and we're going to pretend that this never happened. Crazy, right? Yeah, whatever. It was some tea, some like piping hot fucking baby killing tea. But I'm like, dude, you know how many people probably do that at FBS schools and whatever? And I'm not saying cover up rapes, but I'm saying like,
no, I don't even.
Players get in trouble and they're like, we'll take care of it. I mean, look, when I tweeted about it, you know, when Stacy was our coach, the first thing he said was, if you get arrested, call me. Don't call your lawyer. Don't call your parents. Call me.
Yeah. I mean, if you watch that documentary, the Manti Te'o documentary, I mean, Manti Te'o didn't do anything wrong, right? In that documentary, he's the one that's being catfished. Well, the school knows about it. Like months before it comes out, their whole resolution, this kid's going through this terrible mental state and doesn't know what to do, and it's eating away at him. Granted, I'm taking everything that he says as the truth, which I probably would do anyways.
Yeah,
like Manti Te'o. But yeah, who knows? But you know, and the school's just like, all right, let's get our story straight. Let's figure this out. Just shut up. Yeah. Shut up, Manti, and go play football. We'll figure this out. It's like, you know, I don't.
Yeah,
that's not cool either. You know what I mean?
It's not, but
and the guy said it. The athletic director said, or the president of the university came out and said that. That part's, you know what I mean? Yeah.
The plausible deniability. I mean, it was the same thing, you know, if we go basketball, and I only know this, shout out to Kentucky, when Rick Pitino was at Louisville, right? And the coaches were supposedly getting like hookers and strippers or whatever it was for the kids on their recruiting visits. And he's like, oh, I don't know anything about that. You know, I don't know what the assistant coaches put together. It's like, you don't? You don't know anything about it. Right? And so they're all looking for that.
You know what happened? When they don't say, no, that would never happen. They just say, I don't know if it happened. I don't know.
I'll have to look into it. They're always looking for the plausible deniability, right? They always want to pretend like, oh, I'm the biggest control freak in the world down to like what socks our players wear before the game, but I don't know what's
Yeah.
going on the recruiting
I
visits.
don't know about the hookers. Yeah.
Yeah.
What?
Hookers. Hookers. What?
And they did it like 30 times too. Like there was like a bunch. Like it wasn't just like one
Yeah.
hooker. It was like, oh, we got a group. We got a gaggle of hookers that we got numerous times.
It never slipped out. It never ever. Coach Pitino was like, what about hookers? What am I hearing in the layup line about hookers?
Yes.
Never came out.
What are you doing? And can we talk about that? Can we talk about on the recruiting visit? On my recruiting visit to Valpo, the young lady that walked us around campus was much better looking than the average Valparaiso student. Was that the same case for you as well? I also feel like that was a little bit of a lie.
No, I'll tell you about my recruiting visit. Eli took me around on my recruiting visit. Do you remember him?
Eli.
Safety, he's from Georgia.
Oh yeah, okay.
Yeah.
That dude was kind of a wild dude.
Yeah. I'll tell you. So he took me on my recruiting visit. He's walking me around. He's telling me whatever, telling me how great it is there, whatever. It's me and my dad and him. And he's giving the spiel. Eli walked me around.
I didn't have a football player walk me around.
Yeah, Eli walked me around. I had a meeting with Coach Bernardi, the defensive coordinator. I had a meeting with Coach A. Dude, I was so tired. I was like falling asleep in the meeting with Coach Bernardi. I could barely keep my eyes open, which is
did you stay the night?
Probably insulting. Yeah. So flip back. Okay. Eli takes me out to this party. I won't dox or throw names out, but there's a couple girls that are there who appear to be very interested in me and are like all over me, dancing on me, or whatever. And they're beautiful girls. And I was like, wow, this school seems great. Later, I would find out that they were probably the two prettiest girls on the entire campus, but that's okay.
They were plants.
Yeah, they were. Yeah, I'll get that. I'll get to that. I'll get to that. So fast forward, I'm like, wow, I had a great night. Really good-looking girls think I'm a good-looking guy. I'm having fun. I'm getting drunk. This guy, Eli, seems really fucking cool. Gonna do great things here. So I commit. It's whatever. Fast forward. We're probably 0-3. Popper blew his ACL. Weimer blew his ACL. And I'm like in the car. It's like me, Curry, Eli, maybe. Maybe I'm not in the car. Maybe I'm just at their apartment. And I'm like, dude, I would have never come here if you didn't set me up on that. And he looks at me in the face and he goes, I'm so sorry, man. I just wanted us to be good at football and I wanted you to help us. He's like, so I completely lied to you. He's like, and I had these two girls come to the party and dance on you, so you would think this is like the greatest place ever. And I was just like, I forgive you, Eli, for that. And then I took that from him, and anytime recruits came on visits, I would go like round up the best looking girls on campus and be like, I need you to go dance on that guy right there. I need you to go flirt with that guy right there. And I need you to tell him to come here. I took it out of his playbook, That's what coaches do. That's what players do. It's a copycat league.
Oh yeah, dude, that's what they did. Who was it? Was it Quinn was in charge of? You remember Kevin Becker?
Good God, how could I forget? We're not going to throw names out, but yes,
well, I remember. He was coming up for his recruiting visit, and he was just a big. But Kevin Becker was a big dude, and he was going to play tight end, and I think he was kind of a stud at a relatively large high school in Cincinnati. Like there was a relatively strong amount of hype around him when he was coming to Valpo, because Valpo is a very small school, right? And I just remember him coming on his recruiting visit. Yeah, and it was kind of somewhat of a big deal. I think it was Quinn Schaefer that was in charge of his visit. God bless him. And that's it. That's all I was going to say.
We made sure Becker had a good time. I remember him coming, and I'll just say,
too good.
We made sure he had a good time.
Too good. Too good of a time.
I don't know how.
Anyway,
He just had a good time.
Yeah. Anyways.
Yeah. He had a good time. I was actually just talking about him about maybe a couple months ago when I was in Valpo. We were just talking about wild shit. And sounds like he's doing well though. Sounds like he's in the Marines. He's doing good.
I know he's jacked though. He's always popping up on my Facebook half naked with inspirational quotes. I was like, good for you, buddy. Good for you, buddy.
I got nothing else. I'm glad to hear he's doing well. Glad to hear he's doing well. But yeah, dude, Eli totally fucking played me on that. But I didn't get mad. I said, okay, I'm gonna do the same thing. And I pressed it. I tried really hard. When kids came on visits, whoever were, because again, it's a small school, right? So whoever were the like 5 or 6 good-looking girls, they all somehow found their way over to these guys. And not just like, I don't know. I mean, you start talking about this shit, you're going to get labeled and look like an asshole. But there were just certain girls that were popular, that were good looking, that were in the scene. I'm not saying the school only had 5 or 6 good looking girls, but there were ones that were around that a lot of guys would find attractive. And so we just made sure that we, pointed them in the direction of recruits. And maybe they lied to some recruits. Maybe they flirted with some recruits like those girls flirted with me and made me think I had a chance when I really didn't.
They were good team players. God bless them.
They wanted to see our football team succeed just as much as the next person.
They never got that chance, though.
They never got that chance.
They screwed our boy Stacy. I still stand by that. Stacey Adams wasn't a good coach, but he was not a bad coach. He got screwed. He was a victim of circumstance.
Very much a player's coach.
I never had an issue.
All right. We have completely botched this fucking show from start to finish, calling it what we called it. College football this week didn't sound like it was too hot. NFL, I crushed. You sucked, apparently, but I crushed it. So
yeah, that's great. Yeah, but you saw. Yeah, we switched roles. We switched roles.
Yeah, last week I was terrible. Last week I was 4-10. I think this week I went 9-5. So what does that put me at? 13-15. And then what did you go over all the games? Do you know?
Over all the games? Oh, dude, I don't know what I did all the games. I don't know what I did all the games. I lost the Saints game. I took the Colts. They got pounded, right?
Yeah. We'll look it up after the show and put it out there.
Yeah. That works.
Let's run this week. Throw the games out there. We'll play them. Also, right. on our real or fake, the Giants are still looking like they can go 10 wins, man.
I know.
It hurts. What's funny? I know it hurts.
Yeah, man. I don't know. We'll see. It doesn't hurt. I don't give a shit. I'm rooting for the Giants. I think that's great. I just don't know if it's. I just don't know. It's hard for me to believe it's sustainable. But we'll get into that for sure. So Thursday Night Football, the Ravens are at Tampa Bay to take on the Buccaneers. The Buccaneers are favored by 1.5 points.
Nope. I'm never betting the Bucks ever fucking again.
I took the Buccaneers. I haven't bet on it yet, but I'm definitely thinking about taking the Buccaneers. I said it last time, but how many games in a row can they possibly suck? And you said it. The Ravens look like shit, dude. You said it. You said that. I didn't say that. You said that. They look like shit.
Ravens are a dog shit team.
Yeah, dude.
Buccaneers are like a goose shit team. I don't even know. Like I would not.
So who you got to pick a team though?
I'm taking the other side. I'm taking Ravens.
Taking the Ravens.
Ravens plus 1.5.
Okay. All right. Broncos. Denver Broncos at Jacksonville Jaguars. The Jacksonville Jaguars are favored by 2.5 points. I will let you go first.
I like the Jags. Again, Trevor Lawrence, you never know what you're going to fucking get. But Russell Wilson seems cooked. I'm going against. Until they show me otherwise, I'm going against the Broncos, just like I'm going against the Bucs.
Yeah, I agree with you. I got the Jaguars. Again, I want to be very honest with people. My dad's coming in Thursday. I've been sick, so I have not put money on any of these games I'm talking about like I usually do. Usually I do that ahead of time. But this is a game I'm strongly leaning towards the Jacksonville Jaguars. I agree with you. I don't know if Russ is cooked, but they definitely don't know how to utilize him. They definitely don't know how to utilize anybody. Melvin Gordon's their starting running back, and he's been atrocious. I don't even know. And it's like he's afraid to hurt his feelings, but he's not good. I don't know what's going on there. I have no idea what's going on there. But we both agree here, so we'll put it in the agree pile. You want to move on to the next game?
Yeah, it's not Camp Randall, so I don't want to talk about Melvin Gordon anymore.
All right. The Pittsburgh Steelers are going to Philadelphia to take on the Eagles. The Eagles are 10.5-point favorites. I am leaning towards the Philadelphia Eagles. They look supremely unstoppable. The Steelers, not so much. Deep thoughts, thinking hard. I mean, it doesn't seem like it's
Eagles are due for a loss, though, right? Like they're due for a loss, and you know that loss is going to come to some team it shouldn't be. And the Steelers feel like that team for me.
I disagree with that. I mean, the Steelers,
I'm going to go Steelers. Worst case, they cover. Best case, they win. At 10.5, yeah, I'll take them.
It's a lot. It is a lot of points for the NFL. The Steelers did not look horrible last week, but I mean, the Eagles also just kind of keep on trucking as well.
I'm going to bet on Mike Tomlin and.
Weren't they on a bye week last week too? Yeah, the Eagles were on a bye. So you think they're going to lose off of a bye?
Who's our guy that we argued over? The old Miami coach.
The old Miami Dolphins. Flores.
I'm gonna ride with. I'm gonna ride. No, I'm gonna ride with Flores and Tomlin to play enough defense that they don't lose by 10.5.
It's a big spread. I can't lie. All right. The Las Vegas Raiders travel to New Orleans to take on the Saints. The Raiders are 1.5 favorites. Where do you go? Is that right?
God, the Saints were so bad on Thursday night.
They were so bad.
Are they getting any of these guys back? Have you seen the injury report?
What does it matter? What does it? No, they're not. I don't think. First of all, I don't think that they are. Second of all, what guys are you referring to? Because the only guy that really matters, I think, is
Michael Thomas, right? And
Jameis Winston is. I think Jameis Winston is clearly better than Andy Dalton, but by how much? By like a pick?
Michael Thomas, DNP, Jarvis Landry, DNP, Marshawn Lattimore, DNP. Yeah, I'll take
Marshawn Lattimore is very. He is substantial.
I'll take Raiders.
I take Raiders as well.
So -1.5. Okay.
All right. The Carolina Falcons are 4.5-point favorites. Dude,
Is your Wi-Fi good? I can barely hear you. There he goes.
Did you hear any of that? I just installed a Wi-Fi extender. I shouldn't have any issues like this anymore.
So we'll talk. I had to get a Wi-Fi extender too. Orbi is your way to go if you don't have Orbi.
What the hell is that?
They're on this TP-Link thing that did not work, and I got Orbi. Orbi changed.
TP-Link.
Yeah, TP-Link was dog shit for me. So what happened is in our basement, and enjoy this, listeners. In our basement, the internet signal was weak, but that's where I put like our fucking 80-inch TV. So I want to be down there. And I couldn't stream anything. I couldn't do Netflix. And I don't have cable. I couldn't do YouTube TV. I had TP-Link. TP-Link was always buffering. I switched to Orbi. Orbi's where it's at.
Okay.
I got the Orbi at Best Buy. And if you need a hookup on the Best Buy, I have a code so you can get it tax-free at least. You can save a little dough that way.
How much is it?
Oh, I don't know. Let me look.
Did you hear any of my Panther spiel?
I heard 4.5-point favorite.
No, the Panthers are getting 4.5 points, dude. In a divisional matchup, the Panthers looked pretty good last week. Looks like they found the rhythm a little bit. I
Yeah.
know that the Falcons also like shit. I did watch that game. They could not contain Joe Burrow. Where are you going with this?
To your question, what I got looks like it's on Amazon for $146.
Bro, the TP link was 20.
I know, that's why it doesn't fucking work. I know, dude. I know. But I can tell you, it's money well spent. I have not had an issue with my
Fine.
internet since buying it. So I'm telling you, if you switch to Orbi, it's worth the money. Panthers are 4.5 point favorites over the Falcons.
No. The Falcons are 4.5 point favorites over the Panthers.
And who's at home?
The Falcons.
Yeah, I'll go Falcons.
God damn. I'm surprised by this. Okay. Next game, the New England Patriots
Who are you
travel to
taking?
New
You're
York.
taking Panthers? You're taking Panthers?
Yeah, 4.5 points in divisional matchup. One team looked
Okay.
good last week. One team looked bad. I'm bet on the good team.
Okay.
New England Patriots traveling to New York to take on the Jets. The Patriots are 2.5 point favorites. Where you go?
Oh, Patriots. They just lost Brees Hall, right?
You mean what? You mean the Jets? Oh, you're taking the Patriots because the Jets lost Brees Hall.
Yeah.
So to me, I don't know if that's that important because I think Michael Carter's pretty good. Brees Hall is definitely on another level. The Patriots looked like shit last week, and the theme of their season has been kind of shit, good. So I'm going to err on the side of good and go with the Patriots. So we both agree on that game. An interesting topic. Maybe we'll cover it next week. We'll sit, cuss a little time here. Is talk about Bailey Zappi over Mac Jones because Mac Jones was benched. I'm sure you saw that. Woo! That is a wild thing to do. But if you're Bill Belichick, I think you might want the quarterback that just shuts up and listens rather than. I don't know. I honestly don't know what's going on there.
I don't know. I mean, Mac looks really bad. I think he's also hurt. I don't know. It's not just the ankle. There was some stuff earlier in the year that he had a bad back. If he's got back problems, I mean, that's never good. Zappy, I don't know, is the answer. But what I did like about Zappy against the Bears was he was willing to air it out. I mean, that was fun.
Well, you did it Western Kentucky, baby. I'm a little bummed. I have a Mac Jones autograph card that's numbered to 10 that is valued at 150. I thought it would go up to 500 based off of
that shit now.
Yeah, screwed up. Can't sell it now. It's on an all-time low. I gotta wait. Even if it gets worse, I gotta wait. Next game, Arizona Cardinals go to Minnesota to take on the Vikings. The Vikings are favored by 3.5 points. I'm going with the Vikings, dude.
So am I. West going east. Give me the Vikings.
Yeah, that on top of there's no way the Cardinals could put together two competent contests. Especially, isn't Call of Duty XP week this weekend too?
Yeah. Right? Everybody always gives Kyler shit for that. How about the fact that he's like 5'2"?
I let that slide because I'm like 5'3". So the Miami Dolphins travel to Detroit to take on the Lions. The Miami Dolphins are 3.5 point favorites. Where do you lean?
So I missed who they're playing. Dolphins are 3.5 against who?
The Detroit Lions.
God damn, dude. Detroit is due, right? They're due for a win.
They're not due. Why would you say that? You know who's due. Well, I guess the Dolphins can't be due. They both looked bad last week. I mean, you can take the Lions.
Okay. Shit. God damn, this list is long. Okay, DeAndre Swift, full practice. Amon-Ra St. Brown, limited practice. Green. Taylor Decker, limited practice. But then on defense, Deshaun Elliott, DNP. Charles Harris, DNP. TJ Hawkinson, DNP. Mike Hughes, DNP. God damn, dude. They're so injured. And the Dolphins have a list of guys, too.
The Dolphins are not healthy. Both teams look like shit last week. The Dolphins did eke out a win, but it was barely to the Steelers. Obviously, by my tone, you can already tell I lean the Dolphins. I
I'll go
can't blame you for
Lions,
taking
dude.
that. You going? I thought you would. I thought you would. All right, next
Dolphins minus
game.
3.5.
Yeah, the Dolphins getting 3.5, or the Dolphins are giving. The Dolphins are favored by 3.5.
Yep, I got you.
The Chicago Bears travel to Dallas to take on the Cowboys. The Cowboys are favored by a whopping 9.5 points, and I'm going with the Cowboys here. The Bears look like shit. No, I'm sorry. The Bears looked really good last week. That's right, because they beat the shit out of it. But so did the Cowboys. No, I'm cool. I'm staying with that pick. I'm going with the Cowboys.
Yeah, I'll go Cowboys. 9.5.
We talked about that. Yeah, it's a lot of points, but I mean the Bears aren't good. Next game, the Tennessee Titans travel to Houston to take on the Texans. The Titans are favored by 2.5 points. Where do you go?
That's all Tennessee's getting.
Tennessee is favored by 2.5.
Yeah, I'm saying like that's not a lot.
No, that is not a lot. That's where I lean as well. I'm thinking, what? I mean, you give Derrick Henry 30 carries, we should be rocking and rolling, right?
Yeah.
And the Titans didn't look.
Jeffrey Simmons didn't play or didn't practice. Bud Dupree limited. Ben Jones limited.
Bud Dupree's playing. He's been limited the whole season, hasn't he?
I don't know.
He plays every game.
And then on Houston, Brandon Cooks, DNP. Okay, veteran shit. Brandon Cooks and Jerry Hughes, DNPs.
They're trying to unload Brandon Cooks, bro. Brandon Cooks might not even see the field.
That's what I heard. He wasn't available to press. Poor guy. I mean, he's just gotten shopped everywhere.
That's him. He requests to be traded all the time and shit. I don't think it's him this time, but
Rashad Weaver, DNP. Ryan Tannehill, DNP. It's Wednesday though, dude. This is the hard part about our podcast. So Tannehill's probably going to play.
Dude, Tannehill's going to play. Bud Dupree's going to play. If they played last week and you didn't see them get carted off, you could probably make a safe bet they're
I'll take Titans.
I mean, you have to, right?
Minus 2.5 feels strong. Like
because you're not even giving 3. You're not even giving a field goal.
Yeah.
Next game, the San Francisco 49ers travel to Los Angeles to take on the Rams. The Niners are favored by 1.5 points. Where are you going to go?
I follow this woman on Twitter, Katie Mox, who's a Niners fan. So I kind of want to take Niners to support her, but like
I'm taking the
Rams.
The Rams are coming off a bye week, dude.
I'm joining the Ramily this week, like it just I saw the Niners last week. I wasn't impressed.
God no. All right. The Washington Commanders travel to Indianapolis to take on the Colts, who are favored by 2.5 points.
Colts are favored.
The Colts are favored.
Starting Sam Ehlinger.
Yeah.
Give me the other team.
Do you want me to just put, instead of the Commanders, just put non-Ehlinger?
Yeah.
Do you know what? I'm taking the Colts. I think that Ehlinger brings an X factor.
X factor.
I'm ready for it, baby.
What's his fucking X factor? That he can lose a game?
He's gonna move the ball, dude. He's gonna move the ball. All right, next game.
Real quick. Hold on. What were the Rams giving?
The Rams. Oh God, the Rams were getting 1.5 at home.
Okay, love it. And then what are the Commanders getting?
2.5.
All right. I'm out of space on my whiteboard, but that's all right. What's the next game?
The New York Giants travel to Seattle to take on the Seahawks, who are favored.
Seahawks are favored for the first time?
I took the Seahawks. I did not put money on the Seahawks. I leaned the Seahawks. They're playing well, my friend, and it's at home. You got the 12th man, baby.
I've been riding Hawks.
They both teams looked good last week.
Giants are going on the road.
Yeah, dude. 12th man. And the Seahawks.
Give me the Hawks. Give me the Hawks. And what are they favored by?
2.5.
Yeah. East to
All
west,
right.
I'm going there.
I feel you, dude. Next game, Green Bay Packers travel to Buffalo to
Nope.
take on the
No.
Bills, who
Bills,
are 11.5-point favorites.
11 and a half. Fuck, man. Just give me everything in my soul says don't take Green Bay, but I'm going to take Green Bay.
I'm shocked by that, considering that the Bills are coming off a bye.
Yeah, but
I'm going the Bills. Monday Night Football. You got your Cincinnati Bengals traveling to Cleveland to take on the Browns. The Browns are favored by 3.5 points. I don't know why. Oh, no, I wrote that down wrong. The Bengals are favored by 3.5. Duh. God, I hope I didn't write any other ones down. Wrong.
does Cleveland have any like foods? Like, is Cleveland known for anything food wise?
Pierogies?
So you got like Skyline versus pierogies here.
I don't. Yeah, I guess. I guess that would be it. Like chili versus the 9 most iconic Cleveland foods.
What are they? Turkey sandwich.
For the reference, I'm taking the Bengals. Turkey sandwich. Oh, dude, it doesn't even say, dude. Oh, yeah, pierogies is the first thing that pops up.
Okay.
A po' boy, a corned beef sandwich. God damn it, a sandwich did make the list. That sucks.
Oh boy, Quaker steak and lube, fucking chicken
Cleveland
wings.
Kraut. I don't know if that even is.
All right, I'll tell. Well, I lived in Hudson, Ohio for a brief minute. My dad had a job there, which is roughly Cleveland. I enjoyed it. It was okay. It was a good time. I took a visit to Cincinnati and I stayed at a hotel and I went out for drinks. And when I came back, cops were there and they had taped off the whole hotel because a guy in my hotel decided to commit suicide in the hotel. I don't know what that has to do with the game, but it sounds like Cincinnati is a very tough place to live. So I'm going to go with the Bengals because it's just a level of grit there in Cincinnati that doesn't exist in Cleveland.
I agree. You should base all of your bets off of suicide rates from cities. Let's see where that went. Philadelphia honestly probably do pretty well, judging by the records of the team. I mean, Philadelphia's got to be up there. I mean, right?
And the Bengals are plus 3.5, really, against the Browns?
No, I messed that. I wrote that one down wrong. The Bengals are favored by 3.5. The Browns are
okay.
I'm double checking to see if I wrote any of the other games down. I did not. That's the only game I wrote down wrong. So we're straight there.
Okay.
Yeah. I agree with you. I also take the Bengals. Before this podcast hits 2 hours, we got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. We have 9 games we agree on, dude. This is a podcast high. We got to lower this. We got to lessen this to 4. So where are we at?
1 second.
I know. I'm trying to figure out. I'm not sure, man. I'm not sure. We got a lot of good stuff here. Lots of good stuff.
So we got Jags, we got Steelers, we got Falcons, Patriots, Cowboys.
No, we just agreed on Steelers. So we got because you took the Steelers, I took the Eagles. So we agree on the Jaguars,
Raiders.
the Raiders.
We got Raiders.
Yeah. Patriots, Vikings, Cowboys, Titans, Rams, Seahawks, Bengals. So now we got to limit that even more. And I'm not quite sure how to do that.
I like New England a lot. I forget who
Yeah,
they're
okay.
playing, but I like them a
They're
lot.
playing the Jets. They were given 2.5 to the Jets. So I like that one. Let's go ahead and mark that one down.
So that's one. I like the Jags, I think. Who are the Jags playing?
The Jags are playing the Denver Broncos. I like that one too. They're favored by 2.5 points, but
It's good
I think we're
Jags.
cool with that. Yeah, I like that one too.
Cowboys.
Yeah, let's do that. There's no way the Bears play that well 2 weeks in a row, right?
That's what I would think.
Yeah.
Tough thing about the Bengals. Like, what's their...
I mean, no one is like blatantly hurt, right?
Other than the Ravens, I mean, they haven't really played a close game, it looks like, this year. Cowboys, Steelers were 3-pointers.
Yeah, they looked rough there at the beginning of the year, but they seem to be moving pretty smooth.
Yeah. I don't think the Browns are as good as the Ravens. I'm guessing. Well, I'm saying all this to say, should we lock Bengals?
I can agree with that. Let's do it.
Is there another one you like more though? Before we,
I don't think so. I'm just not seeing it. These are probably my favorite game, and we both locked that up. We both like the Vikings. I think that could be a good one. No, I know. I like them. I like the four we picked. So we got the Jaguars giving 2.5 to the Broncos, the Patriots giving 2.5 to the Jets, the Cowboys giving 9.5 to the Bears, and the Bengals giving 3.5 to the Browns. That is odd that we picked all favorites, but
you want to throw an upset in there? Did we agree on any upsets?
I don't think we agreed on any upsets, dude.
Yeah, I'm looking. I don't think we did either. Not this week.
No, that's not true. We agreed on the Rams getting 1.5. That was the only upset.
Let's do that. Let's lock in the Ramily.
I got way less confidence. I got way less confidence in that one than the other ones, though. Right?
Yeah, true.
Just because they're coming off a bye week, I can't have that. I mean, that's really the only reason I even picked the Rams is because they're coming off a bye week and are at home. So I figured there was some advantage there. But San Francisco is also in California, so not a huge road trip. And they just got Christian McCaffrey, so they got a whole week to work to figure out how to better utilize him. No, I think we're good with the four we got.
All right. Let's stick with those. I mean, I think our locks last week were dog shit. So I told everybody to bet everything.
We locked up on.
Hope they didn't.
We went 1-3 on locks. I think that's the second where we've done 1-3. By the way,
1-3 on the locks. That's how you make people money.
That is. They could bet against us. That's for sure.
I would not tell anyone to bet against me because eventually I'm going to go on a heater and you will pay. Dude, this has been a fun episode. We talked about some very random shit that was not football, but it was football adjacent. And I think that's okay because the NFL has been weird this year. And so you guys, you're going to listen to some podcasts and they're going to tell you about, Joe Burrow and Jamar Chase are getting it back together. Kenneth Walker's great. How are the Jets going to handle losing Breece Hall? I don't know. They're going to give you all the same old shit you ever got. But when are you going to hear about a kid in Mount Union getting a blowy on any other
That's right.
podcast besides Around the Gridiron? So thanks for
That's
hanging
where we
out
bring
with
it,
us.
bro.
Exactly. So thanks for hanging out with us for the last hour or so. It's been great. We'll be back for week 9. Josh, what do you got going on in between?
Dude, I'm just slamming out pieces for Buckeyes Wire. Big game this week. They play Penn State, so my next articles can take a dive into some recent highlights and lowlights of the series against Penn State. Ohio State's actually in their longest win streak. They're currently in their longest win streak ever against Penn State at 5 wins. Personally, I think that Ohio State demolishes them, so I'm not super worried about it. But other than that, dude, my dad comes into town. I see him about once a year, so I'm pretty excited about that. Make sure you follow me on Twitter at Josh Keaton16. And if you have any listener questions, dude, we'd love to incorporate that in the show. You know, would you agree?
Yeah, I mean, we could do a mailbag. We could do whatever's out there.
Yeah,
If people are listening and they want to send in questions, feel free. 2 things. 1, where's your dad coming from? And 2,
Dallas, Texas.
Nice. Your dad's been hanging out with Dak Prescott.
Oh, yeah. Well, actually, who did he see the other day? It was LaDainian Tomlinson and Emmitt Smith were at his golf course.
What?
Believe it or not. Yeah.
Your dad sounds like a baller, man. I don't have much with him. Okay. That's okay. We'll just say he was. And then secondly, that running back at Penn State, is he still killing it?
The freshman? Yeah, he's very good. I'm just not certain. I'm just not worried about it. They're Penn State's not a good. They're not good. They're upper echelon Big Ten, but they're not like Ohio State's really going to struggle against Michigan because Michigan matches up against them really well. Penn State's strengths are what their defensive backfield. Okay, we got the best wide receivers in the country, even with Jackson Smith and Jigba out, who's probably going to be out again. And then they're really. That's kind of what you're looking at. Their offense is very bland. They pound the ball with that freshman running back who's very good, but he's no Bijan Robinson or Zach Charbonnet. And then Sean Clifford's terrible. So I really don't think it's going to be – the spread is 15.5. I stared all through long at putting money on the Buckeyes. I don't have the balls to do that because it is in Happy Valley. But, if you made gun to my head, I'd take the Buckeyes, given, laying the 2.5 touchdowns or whatever.
You're taking the Buckeyes plus 15 or minus 15?
They're favored. It's minus 15.5. But I haven't bet on it yet. I don't think I'm going to. I don't think I have the balls because it isn't Happy Valley. It is Ohio State. It's only their second away game, and their first away game was in East Lansing. So it's probably not a good sign if their second away game is Halloween weekend. So they're not exactly battle tested. I mean, if you look at Ohio State's schedule, the best team that they played is Notre Dame or Toledo. And I say or, not and, by the way, because that's how bad Notre Dame has been.
Wow.
I think Notre Dame is a lot better than their record indicates. But, if you asked, I think Notre Dame is a good team. I would rank their talent on their roster probably in the top 25, but I can't justify that. So you have to put Toledo because Toledo actually has a good record.
All right, and that's how we're going to end this podcast. shitting on Notre Dame here, man. Hey,
dude, it's not my fault. I think Notre Dame's a good win. I don't like that people are shitting on Ohio State's schedule, but it's like, dude, when they scheduled Notre Dame, they were a top 5 team. Do you know what I mean? It's like, dude, what? Marcus Freeman will get together. I think he's just young. He's a little bit over his head. I think he'll figure it out. I think he'll be fine.
Well, it's love the Notre Dame. I would never talk bad about you, even though I have talked bad about you in the past. And Josh is just a fucking Ohio State asshole. So go Irish. And
dude, Notre Dame struggled against UNLV last week.
Wow. I did not see the game.
UNLV was playing their backup quarterback. I know.
You don't have to say shit like that.
It's upsetting to me too, dude.
Oh, we're on the same team here now, motherfucker.
I want every Ohio State opponent to be very, very good. It makes them look better.
I hope my mic picks
Just
that
saying.
up. Go Irish. And we'll be back for week 9. So, hey, everybody, thanks for checking it out. And if you do have questions, please send them in. We'll love to answer them. As much as I love to hear my voice and hear Josh's voice, would love to answer some questions. Maybe we'll even create a voicemail hotline where you guys can send them in and we'll play them on the show. That might be a step above what I'm capable of. But we're going to start maybe going live. I don't know. I don't know how all this stuff works.
That'd be dope. I'd be down for that too.
So have a call-in show live. And you guys can send us your questions. They can't be any dumber than anything I'm throwing out. So on behalf of Josh and me, this has been Around the Gridiron, week 8, and we will be back for week 9. Peace out.